Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our episode of Everyone's a Critic. We're so happy to have you here.
Oh, we're getting into it now?
You want? Yeah, we can just start it if you want.
Hold on. Okay.
And welcome back. Or welcome us back from the intro.
Okay. And welcome back. Welcome to Everyone's a Critic. I'm Braith, and this is my best friend Jay.
How you doing?
We're the official reviewers here at Everyone's a Critic. Today we've got sort of a fun one, I think.
Absolutely. So today we're going to be talking about games, and not just any type of games, but video games. Games, of course, started as far back as 1000 BC when the Egyptians were playing Mancala, but the current version of games and entertainment would be video games. So that we're talking some kind of a video game that you plug into your TV.
This actual setup we got here, my uncle donated to us.
Yeah, that was very generous.
What do we got here? So these are like, I'm sure everybody knows what a video game is at this point, but for those who may not know, it is basically like a game, like a sport, but it's played on what's called a console. Do you know much about this one?
To be honest with you, I'm pretty new to this whole subject. I like to play different types of games, such as board games or card games with my family and friends.
Sure.
But I've never actually played a video game before, so this is going to be a fun experience for me.
This I did play at my uncle's house before, so I have a little bit of familiarity with it. But so what happens is this is called a console, and this particular one is a Sega Genesis, as you can see up there. And then you plug these in to it, which are controllers, much like the controller on your TV. If you hold that there, careful. And basically, you just play. There's not exactly board games that I know of here, but there's a lot of sport games and stuff. So much like you would play in person, you're now doing on a TV. It's a little more accessible. You can play late at night.
Why would you choose to do that over playing a real sport?
It's less exhausting, and sometimes they get kind of, I'll show you later, but they get like cool art styles to go along, and it's almost a different experience in itself, but it is not as rewarding as playing a one-on-one game of basketball, but it's a quicker setup, and it's a lot more easy to do if you don't have, let's say, a basketball court in your hometown.
Sure. I live right by the park, so it probably would be a little easier for me to just go over there. And here, let me take that for you.
Thank you.
And, play a game of old round ball, as we call it. But interesting. So you're saying we can try and play some sort of basketball type game using this system.
Absolutely. I'll show you the different games. These are just the ones that my uncle has. I don't think these are all the games. That is...
I know your uncle definitely is pretty involved in technology, so
he's usually got the latest and greatest.
Yeah, he's always, as far as I remember, he's always kind of bringing all the new stuff over to your house. And he's actually one of the first people I remember that knew how to burn a CD. So he'd come over with, some kind of a CD that he's made off of his computer. I'm used to listening to my music, buy it at the store, buy it at, the warehouse or wherever it may be.
Yep.
And he comes over with one of these CDs that has a blue on the bottom and kind of a typewritten label. It's a very cool way to experience music where he made it himself.
Yeah, that he, again, is very into technology. The reason he gave me this is actually an older video game. There's a lot newer stuff out on the market today. I'm sure just more games and stuff. But the games that he gave me for this, in particular, we've got PGA European Tour, if you can see that. That's actually a golf game.
Oh, cool.
You're familiar with it. Doesn't your dad golf?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, this will be exciting. This is the basketball game. It's called NBA Jam. It's officially licensed by the NBA.
Ooh,
so
that looks cool.
They had some creation or part in the creation of it.
Can I play as Steph Curry on this?
I'm not sure the Warriors are on there, but it being an older game, I don't know if he'd quite made the team yet. Here we've got RBI Baseball, another sport turned into a video style game.
Ooh, I love playing. Well, I love playing real baseball.
And then this is kind of where it gets fun because you are not limited to just sports with video games. You can get into different worlds like Thomas the Tank Engine, who I'm sure we're familiar with from childhood cartoons. And, well, it wasn't a cartoon, but it was a childhood show. You can go on adventures with him and kind of see the different characters and interact with them.
That's really neat. So there's kind of a cartoon element to gaming as well.
Oh, yeah. You'll definitely see that once we get this baby on.
Okay.
This is Cool Spot, another fun game. This is actually the main character from, I believe, Sprite or 7-Up, one of those.
Really?
Yeah, it's kind of a fun promotional thing, too. So you're getting companies who have one product now are making video games, which they would not have been able to just like create a sport out of the blue, but now they have video games, and it's a fun character. If you can see, he's got sunglasses on, he's having a good time. You're going through the beach and stuff, fighting off crabs. I know this sounds crazy, but once we turn it on, you'll get to know it. And this is
really cool.
A personal favorite of mine, which is Virtual Bart. Are you familiar with The Simpsons?
I think I've heard of it, but I'm not too familiar.
Okay, The Simpsons is one of the best long-running cartoons. I think that's everything. And it's absolutely hilarious show, and they actually made a video game about it. I'm sure they've made more since. Again, this is an older system. Yeah, so we've got a TV here. We can set this up.
Okay, let's go ahead and do it. If you want to kind of...
Let me... Oh, careful, because this stuff is fragile because it's old. So I've got the console.
Okay.
Let's set some of these games down so you're not dropping them. Careful, that's my favorite one.
That looks cool. It says Virtual Bart Genesis Acclaim.
That's not the full title. Can I get the power? Oh, jeez. Please be careful with that. Okay.
It looks really interesting. There's kind of a boy on the front of it. Huh.
That's Bart.
Okay.
You've never seen The Simpsons?
He does look familiar to me. It's possible. I'm not a big fan of TV shows, but I do recognize him on some level.
Okay, well, I'll show you. I'm sure you'll recognize him. So basically, I've just plugged the power in.
Okay. You want to take this remote from me?
No, I need you to hold that for now.
Okay.
This is what's called the TV adapter, and this will actually send the signal from the console. In this case, it's called a Sega Genesis.
Okay.
And send essentially a TV channel to the TV that you can see and play.
Okay.
So let's just... put that back down there, and then kind of have to just plug this into the back of the TV.
It's a fascinating process. There's actually a lot more involved than I would think. I would think, since it's kind of for children, the ability for them to set this up on their own is impressive.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the fun of it is... I think you have the actual... Yeah, I'll need both of them, but I just need one for now. Yeah, these are accessible for kids. You might not be allowed to go out as much as a kid because there's different kind of dangers in the world, but you're able to play kind of sports and video games.
So if your parents don't let you go outside, this would be a good option of something that you can do kind of in the comfort of your own home.
Absolutely.
Okay, I guess I could see that's a reason you would maybe do this instead of a sport or some kind of activity outside.
And yeah, I mean, my uncle is obviously not a kid, but he still likes to play these things.
No kidding.
Yeah. We'll just turn the TV on here. And did you find Bart?
I got that one right here.
Thank you. Well, hopefully it still works. And we'll just turn the power on. Yeah, so if you want to grab a controller,
okay.
This is virtual Bart. This is the main character from The Simpsons. And as you'll see how it's kind of like a cartoon?
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to go ahead and press start here on the controller.
This looks awesome. It looks just like a real cartoon.
Yeah. It is a lot like a cartoon, except you get to interact with it and kind of create the story yourself.
Wow. I had no idea there was so much complicated, technology behind these types of games.
So this is what's called the main menu, and we kind of just select what level we want to go to. I'm going to go ahead and do the baby bottle one.
Whoa, it's talking.
Yeah, that's the other thing, is there's all sorts of unique sounds and music that goes into these games. It's all designed fresh from the creators.
This looks very unusual.
Yeah, that's the thing, is it is a cartoon world, so you might not see this type of scenery in real life, but they're able to kind of illustrate it and then make it interactive.
Huh.
Which is a lot of the fun of what a video game actually is.
It's cool. It's like you're making the cartoon yourself.
Exactly. And I think this might be the future of actually how they make cartoons in the future.
So can I do anything at this point? Am I a part of the
Yeah, you can
game?
go ahead and just press some of the buttons on there, see if they do anything. I think that's you.
Did I make him do that?
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh yeah, you're doing a good job.
What does this one do?
It does like an attack. There you go. You're getting it.
Okay, well, I'm having fun so far. I'm going to try, I'm going to jump.
There you go.
Whoa!
Isn't that fun? No! You gotta be careful, because there are enemies. The squirrels can actually hurt you.
No!
What happened there?
He hurt you.
Whoa.
No!
Yeah, get out of the way there.
No!
What happened?
You fell onto the ground. You have to restart the level. Well, in this case, you lost completely, so you have to choose a new level to pick from.
What is this?
This is called Dinosaur Bart.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait. Is this how the cartoon goes?
Not exactly, no.
Whoa. Oh! I'm loving this.
Yeah, go ahead and see if you can get to the end of the level here.
What happens then?
Essentially, you win. You having fun?
I love this. Did I get it?
I think so. Nope. You started back at the beginning.
If I knew this show, I feel like I would get a little bit more out of this experience. But even not being a fan of that cartoon, I could see how if I was a kid, this would really be entertaining.
Right. That's why they have the sports games for getting people into the concept, because I think it is a wild concept to be able to play these games on your television.
So maybe if you're like a little too young to play sports in real life, you might play the game and kind of, does that help you learn the rules, this kind of thing?
Yeah, they have all the same rules as a regular sport. You kind of learn how to, in the basketball game, you learn how to dribble and shoot from downtown. And there's all sorts of you are learning the game itself, so you might not be honing in your actual physical skills, but you're learning how to play with other teammates and get that cooperation going.
I'm loving the look of this so far. It's very colorful. I love the way of the movement of everything and the way that the kind of cartoons look on the screen.
Yeah, this is, like I said, an older system, so that's called the graphics, what you're seeing on screen.
Mm-hmm.
And this is an older style game, so
Wow.
you're not getting quite the high fidelity or frame rate that you would today. And what that means is kind of more realistic looking games
Wow.
that we get today. But I do think there is a charm to this, and there's something to be said of how entertaining it is, because it is so colorful, and I think that draws your eye to it and makes you want to check it out.
Yeah, it's like all these different flashing lights and kind of things going on all at once. I don't even know where to look. I'm overwhelmed.
Well, you want to look at the main character.
I'm loving the music. We're kind of seeing some really cool things happen here. I don't really fully understand what's going on yet, but...
So have you ever watched a cartoon and thought, oh, I wish that character would go this way or jump here?
I mean, I like to kind of see what they're going to do on their own, but...
Okay, well then, this probably isn't that much for you. Alright, well I think that's about enough. Do we want to get into the review portion now?
Uh-huh.
Let's grab our helmets here. Your helmet's just over there. Okay, well, again, this is not the latest and greatest of the video games. This is an older console, so I do... Careful there. I do want you to be fair in the assessment of... We're just kind of talking about the concept of them.
Look at him bouncing.
So that is the one thing that you can do in video games. And there's a whole world that opens up when you get into these. Alright, let's just go ahead and finish up this level and then we'll get into the review. Well, I know a little bit about video games. I've played at my uncle's house before. But I think it's such a wonderful thing. You can create all these types of fantasy worlds and play your regular sports games in there too. It's fun for the whole family. You get several controllers you can play with your mom or dad or siblings and just kind of tell these stories together. Okay, well, all right. I personally have a blast with them and I love playing them. And so I'm going to go ahead and give them an A+. Do you want to give your review? Do you have anything to say?
It's fun. I give it A+ as well.
Okay, well, again, that's been video games. I want to thank you all for...
What the heck?
Yeah, that's not actually the game. That's a little cutscene. But that's been it for Everyone's a Critic this week. Hope you all enjoyed. And if you haven't had the chance to check out video games, be sure to do so. There's several different kinds. And that's it. You have any final words you want to say?
This is one of the best kids' toys I've ever played.
All right. Well, have a great weekend, everybody. God bless you. We sure do love you.